Welcome to another video tutorial. I'm going to close these folders up, and we're going to talk about the introduction folder specifically, or excuse me, the introduction lesson. Specifically two things. One is notes from instructor, and that's what I have selected right now. So if I click on it again, this will come up. And if you have a general question about anything that's going on in the course in this specific lesson, you can ask me that question in this discussion board. So right now, I'll put this video right in here under What Will I Learn? And so what will I learn during this lesson is mainly how to navigate and be a part of the iLearn or online learning environment. And if you look up here, if I had a question, I could just click on New Thread, and that brings up, let me click on it, it brings up a title and a description. So say maybe you had a question about a speaking partner, and you could say, how do I get a speaking partner? And you can just talk about what, in this section right here, you could talk about, you know, maybe I've tried to get a speaking partner and they didn't show up, or maybe I'm not able to get one, or are there other options? And you could post that here, and once I can just say here, cannot find a speaking partner. And I could click post, and it posts it right in here, and then it'll have your picture here, your name, and if you want to go back and edit it, you could. But this is the method that you'd use to communicate to me about anything that is happening in the lesson, which one of the things you have to do is find a speaking partner. So that is how that's done, and then I keep my notes from instructor in here. So we have some videos here about where do I start as we begin, what will I learn, and again we've talked a little bit about that, is you'll be learning about how to use the iLearn tool in order to receive information from me and to hand in your assignments. Okay, so let's close that up, and I'm going to go back in and open it, and let's look here at the gathering. And so I'm going to click on preparations for the gathering, and it's going to review what you should have done before you go to the gathering. Now, I can say just a couple of things about the gatherings from past experience with other students. It is probably the highlight of the class. And also, because of that interaction with other students, the grade will reflect on your grade in the class, excuse me, will reflect heavily upon your attendance in the weekly gatherings. So make sure you attend your gatherings. Of course, if there's an emergency, please just email me, and I have to make the decision if I count points for the gathering or I don't count points. And usually with that, if it's and it'll talk in here, if it's an emergency, whether if you're in the hospital, or a family member's in the hospital, or there's been a death in the family, something of that significance is something that I would definitely excuse. But if it's a work meeting or you have a church activity, then I'm not able to excuse those. So again, the gathering, what do we need to do? And here are some steps that you'll go through, and some videos you'll watch as you prepare for the gathering. The post gathering, and I wanted to spend just a little bit of time on the very first activity here, and that is where you will need to introduce yourself. And again, you're going to have this new thread, which gives you an opportunity to communicate with the class. Once I click on that, I could post a title and a description. And what we need to do this week is just introduce ourselves. And I'll read the instructions here. It says introduce yourself to the class in a few short paragraphs by clicking on the new thread button in the upper left-hand corner of the page. Give your introduction an appropriate title that includes your name, and then share what you'd like others to know about you. And then you will reply to others as you read. There'll be a little reply button over here that you can reply and make a comment. And again, this might be new to you, but once you get the kind of hang of it, it works fairly well. So you at least have to make a reply, or excuse me, an introduction by Wednesday, and then reply to at least 3 of your classmates by Wednesday of the next week. Okay, so make sure you get on and say, I mean, these are some of the things you could say. Hi, I liked your post. And then add to that. It's just saying, say more than that. Just don't get on and say, I liked your post. Say, I liked your post because you shared an example of where you live, or you went on a mission, and I have a friend that's on a mission there. So we need to go a little bit more deeper. Remember, you need to be around 100 and 150 words per post. Okay, so hopefully we'll be online this week, and we'll get to know each other a little bit better. And then here's some other activities that we need to do by this week. So let me know if you need any help, and I'll gladly help you. Thank you, and we'll see you this week on the discussion board and with your assignments.